Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. I'm Cheryl Jennings. Every week we focus on a different topic affecting people who live and work in the Bay Area. And today we're talking about women and the workplace. According to the Department of Labor, in 2009, women made up 46.8% of the total U.S. workforce. That was 66 million women who were employed full-time and part-time. And the percentage of female workers is only going to increase within the next decade. Congresswoman Jackie Speier founded the Professional Businesswomen of California 22 years ago to address so many inequities that women encounter in the workplace. Recently, I had the opportunity to talk with the Congresswoman about PBWC's life-changing conference and her thoughts on the challenges that women face today.
It is a Herculean effort to put on this conference every year, and 3,000 to 4,000 women come every year. So imagine how many women over the course of 22 years have been really uplifted by the experience. It has now become not just a conference, but an all-year program with seminars and webinars and breakfast meetings that really make it a full-fledged program that women can access throughout their professional career and throughout the year as well.
22 years later, there's still inequity in the workplace for women versus men when it comes to salaries and promotions. It must have been so much different back then.
It was, and yet it's not all that different. You know, that's the disheartening part of all of this, both in the business world and in the political world. All these great strides made, you know, we can point to 1992 for the year of the woman in politics. But if you now look at the last 10 years, there were more women elected in 1992 to the House and Senate than have been elected in total in the last 10 years. If you look at the professional world, if you look at the business world, there are fewer CEOs that are women today than there were last year by 4. It's gone down from 15 to 11. The inequity in salaries, now we've edged up a little bit. It's now 77 cents for every dollar earned by a man, but we're not gaining the kind of traction as quickly as we should be. I mean, at this rate, it's going to be in the year, 2100 before women actually reach equity in what they're being paid.
A lot of women don't want to go into that sort of business because it's hard. They don't have the... and they are afraid that they won't get the kind of support they need. So how do you change that?
Well, it's really changing the dynamic, because one of the things we also know is that women are lousy negotiators for themselves. They're great negotiators for others, but when it comes to trying to negotiate a salary, they link it to a root canal. You ask men the same question, and they see it as a competitive sport. So we look at that kind of thing differently, and so when we look at the fact that women, for instance, in the business world, when you have women at the top, the financial return to the company is greater. And yet, there is still not the currency there. There is also the sense that you can't do something part-time, and women really feel compelled to raise their children, and so they oftentimes will take those mommy years off and then want to come back into the workplace. They've lost a lot in that regard as well. Part-time employment should be fostered, not discouraged.
Right, and then how do women gain those leadership skills?
I call it femtoring. I think that women who do make it need to spend more time femtoring other women. And we try to do this through PBWC. I think we're pretty successful. I can't tell you the number of women over the years who, as a result of the conference, come up to me, whether it's the grocery store, the cable car, the parking lot, and they say, that absolutely changed my life. That they've taken their careers in very different roles. They've left the corporate world, gone back into the corporate world, become entrepreneurial. It's really what we should be doing, whether we're in the professional setting or in the political setting.
A lot of women are worried that they won't be liked. We are all raised to be liked. And when you're a politician, that just goes right out the window.
Well, it's funny with politicians, though. They like to give the impression that they're on everybody's side, and so they try to impart that, which then gives them a lack of integrity or genuineness that they're criticized for. I think it's important to realize that people want less to like you and more to have confidence that what you say is what you do. You know, the integrity factor is huge.
That was Congresswoman Jackie Speier. Now, we have to take a quick break. I'll have more of my conversation with her.